Hey, listen, when you hear that, everybody's like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble, right? So I want you to know that no one's in trouble, but Kayla and I believe that there's probably some things that we could talk about that are worth hearing. And conversation is always good. And so we came up with this idea to do a podcast called Hey Listen, that has kind of a mama vibe and a little bit of a preacher vibe. And this is what we were thinking. We wanted a forum for extended conversation, more than just a soundbite like what we would do in an announcement video or something like that. We wanted to unpack things that relate to faith and church and community. And we have an idea here that it could cover all kinds of things, from some of the more heavy topics maybe that are going on in the world today to some of the more lighthearted things in terms of just how to get our kids engaged, and fun podcasts that hold up your coffee cup here, that are fun, just like that. So we believe that God is up to something good here. We have some things we want to talk about. And Kayla, what are you thinking? What would you like to talk about? Because I talk too much. So tell me what you want to talk about.
Yeah, so I'm just excited to bring topics that we know people are struggling through. I think about we can talk about the big political things and things that are seen in the news, but also the permission to be struggling just through your faith, and what does it look like to be in the Word, and how do we carve time out for that, not just fit it into the rhythm of our life, but to make that part of the rhythm. How do we have a powerful time of prayer? What does a prayer warrior look like, and how can we achieve that when it feels like everyone else has it figured out? But I think in reality, we're all struggling through these different things of growing in our faith, and so giving permission to have those conversations that people are not alone in growing in their faith.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to like politics and current events, like the last thing we need is commentary on Fox News and CNN. That. If we want to kill this thing, that's what we'll do. But if we want to talk about topics that touch our hearts and that people are struggling with day to day, we're just raising kids in a digital age. What does it look like, and how do we provide access to the wealth of information that's out there, and yet limit it so that it doesn't hurt hearts?
I think we'll have opportunity to also share ways that even personally we've done well with that, and ways that we haven't done so well. We can look back and see, I could have done that differently, sure. Whether it's church leadership wise or in our own families. Just figuring that out day by day.
You're in the middle. You're in the middle of it. Like your kids are right in the middle of all this, and my two kids are out of it. Right, they're on their own and living out in the great big world. And so that perspective, I think, will be good, kind of what it's like to be in the trenches today, and then what me looking back and reflecting, and it's crazy how much the world has changed since sure. Avery is 23, so her 13 at age 13, that's 10 years ago. That's an eternity in terms of what the world is looking like today.
Right.
And so some of what I can say is maybe good, but it's almost just irrelevant. So that's
quickly that changes in the world of technology.
And it will for you too. When your kids are grown, there'll be a whole new set of issues and problems. But what we can talk about is, where we've been. That's a good thing. It's always good to have someone with some gray hair and knows what's been. But I'm excited about this. Hey, listen, because I think that what you're going through as a mom right now can really make a difference in these conversations and keep us relevant for what your little ones need. And so that the preaching ministry of the church isn't just for people with gray hair like me, but that we're always thinking about how that can connect with the kids. So I think if you guys will listen, we can all grow together and have some fun while we do it.